Have you ever thought, man, I'm such a good communicator. I share everything with my significant other or my friends or family members when I'm talking to them and let them know how I feel about everything. Or even, I've asked them hard questions and know their views and perspectives on everything. Well, how would you feel if you realized that was not the case at all and you haven't been doing any of that effectively? Well, I'm going to share some insights on how you can avoid that problem in the future, so stay tuned. Hi guys, it's Regina. Thank you for tuning in for another week with me. And if you are new here, welcome. And don't hesitate to go check out other videos on my channel. So here I provide the best insights that inspire you to overcome your limiting beliefs and transform into the best version of yourself. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I upload new videos every Thursday and Sunday. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright guys, so I want to kind of guide us through this conversation about communication with the use of some quotes that I like. So first up is, a good relationship starts with good communication. Yes, communication is the foundation to any good relationship and any long-lasting one or healthy one for that matter. So we want to make sure that we are doing it well. And the key to good communication is to be able to do it effectively and skillfully. So you want to be able to have the hard conversations early on in the relationship so you know where each of you stand. And that's for any type of relationship. That could be a love relationship, co-worker, friendship, family member, whatever it may be. You just want to make sure you have those conversations early on to get good communication going and to practice it from the start. All right, guys, the second quote is, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Yes, this is so important. You don't want to be having a conversation with somebody, right? And they're talking and expressing themselves, and it may be a tough topic to even talk about. And then there you are formulating the response in your head while they're talking. So you're probably missing important pieces of the point they're trying to make. And outside of that, it's just rude. And then you want to make sure you're not tuning them out. You want to make sure that you are actually listening so that you don't miss any pertinent information to the whole topic, whatever it may be. You just want to be sure that you're getting all the pieces. So it's important to really tune in and practice active listening when you're having the conversation. And the worst thing you could do, oh my gosh, is cut somebody off while they're talking. Interrupting someone's thought process while they're trying to be expressive and really share something that's important to them with you can start a debate about whatever it is you cut them off about and throws off the entire conversation. And again, it just not being the best way or very effective conversation, and you ultimately may not reach a resolution to maybe it was some conflict you had or find out more about that one you love. So you really want to make sure to tune in and just definitely come from a place of wanting to understand the other person rather than trying to get your point across, if that makes sense. All right, guys, so third up is, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. Now, how crazy is that? So, basically, when you assume that anything has happened, that is a huge miss in any relationship. And you know what they say about what happens when you assume? You make an ass out of you and me. Yes, that is right. So, you want to make sure that you have had these conversations about something. And typically a good sign for me has always been like, okay, if I have thoughts or feelings, or if I'm wondering about something about my partner in a love relationship or a friendship or whatever, and I feel like there's unanswered questions, or if I have concerns about how I'm being treated, that's a pretty good indication that a conversation needs to happen. So you want to make sure you detect that early on so that you can go ahead and do that and have that conversation and hash out whatever that may be. And specifically in a love relationship, you are two different people that are coming to the table as one. And so you're going to have different views about things, different perspectives. About your core values, about boundaries that may need to be set, about your wants, needs, dislikes, everything. So, you want to make sure that you're having those conversations because there may or may not be an opportunity for compromise in that situation. So that's why it's so important to not assume that you know this, he knows that, she knows that, or of course they know how I feel, because that may not always be the case. And we do not want to assume that, we just know anything, because that's when we would get in trouble. All right, guys, so I want to hear from you. What has been your biggest fail or opportunity for improvement in a relationship? And again, not just a love relationship or a friendship, a relationship with a family member, coworker, or whatever it may be. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. All right, guys, so one of the last quotes I want to share with you is that communication works for those who work at it. Yes, so as we know in the beginning, a relationship is new to us and we're getting to know each other, and so it's important to be able to communicate effectively. And one of the ways to set yourself up for success with that is just to have good techniques in place to start those conversations going. And I think that as a relationship evolves and grows, people grow and evolve. Hopefully they transform into the best versions of themselves. And, eventually you're going to have disagreements or a clash in viewpoints and things of that nature. So that's why it's so important to sit down and have meaningful conversations at the start of the relationship and then revisit them as you grow and evolve. And, lastly, when we're thinking about relationships, you have two people or a group of people, but two people that are coming together as one, let's say in a love relationship or a friendship or whatever, or a parent-child relationship, a sibling relationship, any type of relationship where, you may have different upbringings, different backgrounds, definitely different past experiences. So that's why communication is key, and to have a foundation of it set, because that's the only way that you're really going to have a long-lasting, sustainable, healthy relationship with someone if you are communicating effectively. All right, guys, so my final thoughts on this is that when you're communicating with someone you love or care about, come from a place of compassion, come from a place of understanding. You want to think about, my goodness, why did I first fall in love with this person, or why did I want to be this person's friend? And when it comes to siblings and parent-child, there wasn't much choice in that matter, but I'm just saying you want to come from a place of understanding because you want to acknowledge their viewpoints and consider their perspectives while taking care of yourself. It's so important to realize and remember how much you value this relationship and what it means to you. And I think that is a great guide on how to kind of maneuver it, because it's easy to point the finger and place blame about whatever the situation or whatever the concerns may be. But you want to come from a place of really trying to resolve the situation as opposed to, all this negative emotion. And it's really easy to do so when you feel some type of way because you're in your feelings, but you want to kind of step back from it, kind of give yourself a bird's eye view of the entirety of the situation when you're having the conversations with your loved one. Because I can't tell you how many times I've thought, oh, I'm being a great communicator and I'm getting my point across, or they just know what I'm thinking. Do not assume that your significant other or your loved one or your friend are mind readers. You need to open up and share what you are thinking or what is bothering you. That is the best way for a relationship to be fruitful and to continue on. And then you can overcome almost anything and continue on in a healthy way. So I hope that you guys were inspired to really rethink some of your friendships or love relationships. If you're feeling stuck or in a situation where things aren't moving forward, or there's just this tension in the relationship, it could be that you just need to communicate better and more effectively, because you got to remember, you chose to be with this person, or you chose to be friends with this person, or you guys grew up together as siblings, or it's your mother or father, whoever it is. That relationship is worth saving, and it's so important to be able to communicate how you feel and express how you feel to someone else who you care and love. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to head on over to Instagram and check me out at Regina Renee Williams, where I post a few microblogs per week on inspiration and limiting beliefs. And don't forget to like this video if you like it, and subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I upload new videos every Thursday and Sunday. All right then, bye-bye guys.